Hi folks, Peter Lawn here. Today I am going to show you the steps in copying a base from another player in No Man's Sky. There are times when as a player you wanted another person to build something for you, but you're unsure of how to get this finished product into your current build. Another scenario could be a console player wants their finished base to be moved to a new system or galaxy and has no ability to do that. So you can copy all their base elements under your own base name in a new location. This tutorial video is geared for PC players who are familiar with the No Man's Sky save game editor by Goat Fungus, which is a software used to transfer base information into and out of the game. Although not required for the copy process, if you have Blender, the 3D graphics program, installed on your computer, along with the NMS Base Builder plugin by Charlie Banks, you can visualize and modify aspects of the copied base a lot easier. So I gotta say, as a builder, I get a little annoyed if I see my creations used by other players without permission or at least some form of acknowledgement. So I would just ask that you get permission from the creator to borrow or all or parts of their builds and give kudos in the form of a message module in your base design to give credit to the hard work and creativity of others. It's one thing to copy elements of a base design or build techniques. It's quite another just to copy the base outright. So just be aware of that. All right, so let's jump into it. So the first thing I will do is go to a location of a fellow builder I know and use his base as a test base. This is a really cool build by Singularity. Not only is he a wicked Blender builder with some really cool designs, he's also my go-to guy to put together byte beat music scores. He's really great at that. In my opinion, he's one of the best. But let's say I want to copy his base and set it up as my own in another system. Make sure that we have given enough time for the base to render in entirely. Locate the base computer and note the name of this base. In this case, he called it Tech 9. And we're going to go back to our ship and jump in and out to create a new autosave point in our database. Now let's Alt-Tab and switch to the Save Game Editor and load up our newly saved game. Select our current save game slot from the drop-down. If you're unsure which save game slot just got updated, check the date stamps beside each entry for the most current. Go to the Edit menu and select Edit Raw JSON. You will see the JSON editor window pop open, and on the left navigation window pane, we'll click the little plus sign next to the player state data section. We'll scroll about halfway down this list to a section called Persistent Player Bases, which we will expand by clicking the little plus sign. This is where all the bases are loaded in your current save file. The top ones will most likely be your bases, and any third-party bases you visit will be loaded into the last slots in this section, specifically for a particular location where maybe there's a bunch of multiplayer bases in. So to look for the base we want to copy, I start by selecting the last base entry in the left window, and then move my mouse into the right pane window and left click anywhere, and then hit Control A to select the entire text for that base. Selecting the entire text is a nice way to quickly see the lower part of the JSON text, which will show us the name of the current base we're looking at. Just below the RID section, you will see the name of the base, and in our case, we got lucky and found the base we want to copy in the last entry right away. Sometimes you have to go up a few bases to find the right one, and sometimes you may not even find the base you're looking for. I'll provide a further explanation later in this video if you're having trouble locating a third-party base in your save game. For now, since I did find it, I'll highlight the entire text again with the Control A and then hit Control C to copy this text of the base into the Windows clipboard. I will now open up a Notepad text editor in Windows and paste this base info into a standard text file by hitting Ctrl plus V to paste the entire base text into a new Notepad window. Let's have a quick look at the format of the base save text to identify what's in it. The top section right up to the objects section is information regarding where this base computer is located in the galaxy, including its galactic address, what 3D position it's located in the system, its orientation relative to the planet's center, and a timestamp on when it was created. The next huge section under the object section is the majority of the file and represents all the information of the objects located in your base. And lastly, way down at the bottom of the file, starting at the RID section, up to the end of the text file is some information about the base owner, name of the base and type, who last edited it, and game mode that the base was created in. The part we want to extract from the copy base is all the stuff in the object section. Alright, so we've copied the base right now, the text file for this base, and what we're going to do is we're going to now set up a new base in a different location, and we're going to basically essentially copy this base and put it at that location. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off from here and go to a new system. We'll bring up the galactic map, and we'll jump over to another star system here. Let's try this one here. It's got a few planet options. And we're going to set up a new base at this location and copy the base over. Alright, so this planet looks as good as any. If there's any other bases in this system right now, but that's okay. Go down, find a spot where you want to set up shop. Let's go right here, it's as good as any. Now you do want to be cognitive of where the base computer is and where the base components are relative to that base computer. So I'm going to try to find a sort of an open spot here, and what we're going to do first is we're going to drop down a base computer. It doesn't matter where it is, as long as there's no major obstructions around it. We're going to claim this computer and claim the base first, as you normally would for any new base you put down. And we are going to give it a new name. So we'll call it Pete's new base. Alright, and then what we're going to do is we're going to jump into and out of our ship to register this final save, and we are going to switch over to our save game editor, which tells us that a new save has been made in the game. Do you want to reload it? We're going to say yes to that. You can see some stuff being done in the background here. So now we're going to go back to edit raw JSON, and we're going to go to our player state data, and then halfway down to our persistent player bases, and likely it's going to be the last entry in the bases here, which is what our new base is going to be. We can check though by highlighting the base down here, and then checking the name, which we see right here, which is Pete's new base. So this all it is really there is a base computer, and that's it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go over to the save game that we located, and we're going to say, okay, what I want to do is I just want to only copy the objects section of this file into the new base. So what we're going to do is we're going to just highlight right above in front of the object section, which is at the top of this file, and then we're going to drag and drop this, or drag this scroll bar all the way down to the bottom just before the RID section here, and we're going to, right after that comma and the little bracket that's above that, we're going to hit the shift key and the left mouse key. So right now we have everything highlighted in basically in the object section of the copied base. So we're going to go all the way down. So we're going to go Control C to copy this section. And we're going to go back into our base here, and we're going to replace this whole object section, including our base orientation. So we're going to go right up to the end of this comma here, and we're going to go Control V. So we basically essentially replace this entire object section of this new small base that we had with the base we intended to copy. So we'll close this window and it'll say, do you want to save the file? We're going to go yes, and then we're going to go save changes on the main page. Now we go back to the game and we just go, don't jump in and out of your ship because we just overwrote the save file. We're going to go reload the autosave, and we should see our base now copied over. All right, there it is. And this, of course, is our base. It's not the one that was copied over. So we are the rightful owners of this base now. Another thing you'll be saying probably, well, how come, where are the lights? Where's the music? Well, the problem is when we drop this base in this location, it's not sitting on a hotspot. And so what you would, the way this base was built was originally it was sitting right over top of an EG hotspot. So you would have to precisely locate this somewhere where there's a hotspot, and there's ways of doing that, but you get the idea. So be cognitive of that when you're dropping stuff down. You're going to need to power this guy up. All right, so I mentioned earlier that this process doesn't always work, and so I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about that, because one of the things that I've noticed is sometimes when you're in a heavily populated system with a lot of multiplayer bases in there, you'll find that you cannot find the base just does not come into your save game when you're looking at it with the save game editor. And in this particular instance, actually, I was trying to copy this base when I first started recording this video, and I noticed that this base would not come into my save game. It was really odd. So what I ended up doing to rectify that was I actually switched to a different save game that I had, where I didn't have a base on this same planet where this base that I wanted to copy was sitting on, right? So that's something to try if you don't find the base populates inside your save game editor, is to basically switch saves and get to the same location with a different save and see if you get better results. And as an example, if I go into this particular save and I go to edit JSON and I try to find that Tech9 database, it just doesn't exist in there. So I go to this number 6, so this last one here, and I can see that this one is another player's base called Flower Tree, which isn't the one I want. And when I go up to the next base and I go Control A, it's one of my bases, which is the Monolith Outpost. So this base that I'm standing in right here is not coming into my save game that I've got going on right now. So that's why I ended up switching the saves to another save location and went to that same spot, and for some reason then the base came in. So just something to think about and to try if you don't see that your base is that third-party base is coming into your save game. Well, thanks folks, that's about as easy as it gets. Hopefully that sheds some light on how to copy a base from somebody else. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch up with you later.